I think we should all stand up and applaud the SEC. What a courageous, admirable conference. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
America's number one Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. The SEC is blowing me away, and I'm so excited that they have decided to do the right thing and go to 9 conferences. You know how hard it must be for a league that is so steeped in football to have to play 9 conference games. I mean, they're the deepest team in the country, the deepest league in the country. Look at Mississippi State. I mean, how good are they? Auburn, always underrated and definitely good. Arkansas, spectacular. Vanderbilt going to bowl games and beating Alabama. Even Oklahoma, what a stalwart. And now a 9-game conference schedule. Can you believe it? I just, my heart goes out for the SEC fans that are reckoning with this today. You can't play Mercer in November anymore. And your first response, if you're Daryl from Hoover, Alabama, is, oh, no, now we got to play 9th game in the SEC this year. Yeah, I'm sorry that you're going to have to play Mississippi State. That stinks. And oh, no, even weirder than that and probably worse is Greg Sankey said, hey, not only are we going to do the exact same thing that everyone else has been doing in college football since the beginning of time with the exact same structure the Big 12, the Big 10, and the ACC all function under, but also we're going to make this even more hellish for you. You thought this was bad? Adding a Vanderbilt to your schedule? You thought this was bad? Now you're going to have to go play on the road against Arkansas? Yeah, we'll read this and weep. Not only will Missouri be added as your 9th game in the SEC, now, every year, you must play Wake Forest. Yeah, how about that, huh? Or NC State. No, or Syracuse. You're going to have to schedule Syracuse. You got to do a home and home, and you're going to have to do that home and home against Rutgers every single year, against UCLA. And I don't make the rules here. This is Greg Sankey, the totalitarian dictator of the SEC, the commissioner of the SEC, who's asking his entire league to do something revolutionary in college football, and it's do the exact same thing that everyone else in America is doing. It's crazy to me. If you know ball, you know that a big portion of why this is happening comes from Kirk Cignetti. Hilarious what he did. He goes to James Madison. He wins a crap ton of football games, leaves there, goes to Indiana, immediately wins football games, almost like the guy is just a very good football coach. And he looks at the SEC schedule and says, weird, Auburn's losing to New Mexico State in November. I personally would like to play New Mexico State in November. Weird. Mississippi State is losing to Toledo by 30 at home. I would like to play Toledo at home, actually. So what Big Sig does is he goes in and takes all the home and away, like Virginia or whoever, and says, punt that game. What we're going to do instead is we're going to play Mercer, North Carolina A&T. And I hear so many coaches, even in the Big 12, Kalani Sitake of BYU says this a lot. He says, we should all play 3 power games in the non-con, 9 conference games, 3 power games, 1 against the ACC, 1 against the Big 10, 1 against the SEC if you're a Big 12 school. Here's the problem with that. I'm not going to pretend that the Big 12 is better at football than the SEC. I won't blow that hot air up your skirt. I'll say that we are more valiant for doing 9 games for so long, and just now, oh, woe is me, the SEC has to do what the rest of college football does. But I will say that is a stupid format when you compare it to what Kurt Cignetti is doing. If Cignetti plays a non-conference that is made up of Western Kentucky, San Diego State, and let's say Furman, and they go 3-0, Indiana goes 3-0 in those games, then they go 8-1 in Big Ten play. They're 11-1. They're an 11-1 Big Ten team. You cannot keep that team out of the college football playoff. If their non-conference is Wake Forest, LSU, and Arizona State, and they lose 2 of those 3, and then they go 8-1 in Big Ten play. Now you're looking at a 9-3 Indiana. They don't make the college football playoff. I don't have to put 9-3 in. Strength of schedule doesn't matter that much. One of the biggest reasons strength of schedule doesn't matter is we have diluted the metric. If you look at ESPN right now, their strength of schedule metric is called FPI, their Football Power Index. Did you know the 20th toughest schedule in the country is Missouri's? And did you also know that 16 of the SEC's teams are in the top 20 in strength of schedule per ESPN in the country? Missouri is at 20th. They're 16th in the SEC, but 20th in the country. May I tell you a secret, though? Compared to the Big 12 schools that have to play Arizona State this year, compared to the Big 10 schools that have to play Ohio State this year and Michigan this year that are behind Missouri, the Tigers will play 8 home games. 8 of their 12 games will be at home. Their non-con slate doesn't feature a Power 4 bowl team. And better yet, they will not face a single squad that played in the college football playoff last year. Not Boise State, not Arizona State, not Tennessee, not Ohio State, not Notre Dame. That's the 20th best strength of schedule in the country. I can tell you why it is that way, because they've built this little flywheel that feeds itself. That the better they say the SEC is, even without playing games, the harder it is to boot them out. Because Missouri starts the season at 20 before we played a single contest. There's no way to tell you that they actually will have the 20th best strength of schedule. It's always funny. We get to the end of the year and you say, well, Georgia Tech's resume is great. They beat ranked Florida State. You mean 2-10 Florida State? Why are we having a conversation about ranked Florida State? That shouldn't go on your record as, they beat a ranked team. No, you beat a team that's 2-10. The preseason ranking doesn't matter for what you did against a very bad college football team. That's what the strength of schedule metric has done. So now with the 9th SEC game, what it's going to do is all these SEC fans are going to have to complain, like, oh, we got to go to Starkville. Yes, I'm sorry, you do. This is gonna hurt us so much for the college football playoff. Now we're going to be 9-3. Dog, maybe, but every other conference does this. You can't just get a break because you say that you're better than everyone else. Like, yeah, you're the best conference in college football. I can't disagree with that. But you haven't been to the national championship in 2 years. And so it just seems like a really weird time to be complaining. And then you say, well, now we got to play a power opponent outside of conference. It's okay. I think you're going to be okay playing Wake Forest. I think you're going to be okay with Chick-fil-A paying you millions of dollars to, every once in a while, go play Clemson. Or, go play a fairly sturdy, every now and then, USC team. I just don't have pity for the SEC. I'm not going to laud the SEC. I can't applaud what's happening with Greg Sankey and the SEC right now because they just announced what everyone else has been doing. Oh, look at us. We are saving college football, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do what's right here. Like I mean, the prodigal son story is cool and all. I like it. I'm a fan of that. I agree that when the son walks back and he's been eating the hog slop and stuff, and you welcome him into your home, and you kill the calf or whatever. But I don't think this applies to the SEC. I don't think I have to be that way to the SEC. I don't have to love them like that. This reminds me of the guy you went to high school with. That this is the typical Ole Miss fan. This reminds me of the guy that you went to high school with. That one day is like, I did it, guys. Finally did it. I tithed. I donated. I did it. That's me. Come on. Tides are changing, aren't they? Like, that doesn't erase the decades of terror you have wreaked on our town. It doesn't change the fact that you have been this big bad bully of whatever. You can't just all of a sudden do what everyone else has been doing and be the hero, the saint. That seems like that's what the SEC wants to be treated as in the wake of this announcement. Congratulations. You're doing what we all do. Today's show is brought to you by OpenPhone. Why? Because OpenPhone makes me money. As a small business owner, OpenPhone makes sure that when my phone rings, whether it's midnight or 7 a.m. or noon, as someone running a business, there is consistently, always an answer. It's the number one business phone system designed to streamline and scale your customer communications. Don't juggle 2 phones anymore. You have kind of like a shared inbox. There's no more who's handling this. And this AI agent does all the after hours calls again, so you never miss a call. See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first 6 months. OpenPhone.com/locked on. OpenPhone.com/locked on college. They'll even port over your existing numbers for free. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers with OpenPhone. Today's show is also brought to you by PrizePicks. That's where I go to make money. I mean, there are ways with Prize Picks where maybe the prop that you bet or that you placed up or down or more or less on doesn't hit. You can still make money. Doesn't mean it's got to just brick all the way. Avery Johnson, max discount right now, over 0.5 pass yards. I probably think he's going to get that. That's in a couple days. It's actually, we're right around the corner of that. Prize Picks is simple to play. Pick more or less on 2 to 6 players. And if you get your picks right, you can cash in a win of 2,000 times your money. Flex play option is that total game changer. Even if one of your picks misses, you can still double your money. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 off in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 off in lineups after you play your first $5. Prize Picks, run your game. College football is here. Boom. And the SEC's back, man. They're good now. They're the good guys. Hand up. They're admirable, and we love them, don't we? We love them. This has been It Always Will Be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.